Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is an exciting video because I'm going to go through my 2026 binder setup. This year I will have quite a few binders, but they all have a purpose and I think it will work well for me. Just to give you a little bit of information about me, I am 30 years old and I am single and child free. I have been budgeting for about a year. Well, I've been cash stuffing for about a year now, and the first video I ever posted was my binder setup for 2025. So I'm excited to do this video today. It's like my 1 year anniversary. So first I will start with my savings binders, and then I'll show my like everyday binders and then my kind of specialty ones. I would definitely recommend like starting off small and then adding on as you can. That's what I did. And it did take me a while to find what worked for me, the envelopes that I liked and everything like that. So first, I'll start with savings. So I have two like savings challenge binders. So I have my mini Mondays, which this binder is like this acrylic, which I just got on Amazon. It was less than $10, which I do like to have for my mini Mondays. It's just really compact and it's really pretty. And in here, I have 6 different mini challenges, which I believe all of these were freebies. So I find these on people's Ko-Fis, or sometimes they'll have like Google Drives, things like that. And in this community, people are really nice and they'll provide a lot of freebies. So especially if you're starting out, you don't necessarily want to like buy challenges. You could always do mini challenges. And for me, I always do challenges that save less than $50 for my mini Mondays, because you are able to save really quickly and it just adds up really fast. Next, for my Savings Sunday, it's a similar concept, but these are 6 challenges that save higher amounts. Sometimes they take longer to complete. So in here, I have 6 challenges. Some of these were like freebies, or I wanted a giveaway, or I purchased them. And a lot of these, or I think all of these, I laminated so they can be reused, which is really nice. So in here, I like to have like scratch offs. I'll do different coloring challenges, sometimes different games, just fun ways to save extra money. So I love doing that. And like one of these, this is like a letter size challenge, so it doesn't fit in here. So I just made this like dashboard and put it in there. And this year I do have a catch-all as well. So this is for like if I have a few dollars left, so I won't have a really large IOU. I've noticed a lot of people kind of have that catch-all. And last year I had some like really big IOUs, so I want to try to avoid doing that. Next, I'll show my specialty or binders that I won't necessarily use all the time. So one that I do use, this is just my overflow binder, which since I get paid bi-weekly, I will put the money for my wallet in here. So I'll put like 1 week's worth into my actual wallet and then I'll put the rest in here. And then I just have overflow where I can put a few different bills, just like if I need change. Right now it's kind of empty, but I have some like tens, fives, and ones. I don't keep a huge amount in here just because I don't want to have tons of cash in here. I did last year. I used to save the star notes, but I decided not to do that this year. I don't really have a purpose for them, so they are a cool thing to save if you want though, but I just took those out and used them somewhere else. And all of these binders that are like this kind of style, I got on Amazon. Again, they were really cheap. These were the first ones I ever bought whenever I first started cash stuffing. It's a really good way to use binders, but you don't have to like spend tons of money. Next, this is a new binder, which I guess this is also savings as well. Since this is a new one for me, I'm kind of getting used to it. But this year I wanted to do the At the Mall challenge, which is from Prop Budgets. And it's a really cool, it's kind of like a box challenge where you have a bunch of different stores that you shop at. And there's a bunch of different levels. So right now I'm on level 1 and I want to play like all 4 levels and be able to save the money. And I bought these on Etsy. Some of them she has for free on her Ko-Fi, and then the other ones I bought on Etsy. And she also has these scratch offs, which I printed these out and I just put the scratch off stickers on here. So I thought that would be fun to do along with the actual game, which let me just show an example. So like here we have the cards. So it's like if you wanted to go to the clothing store and then you would pick a few different items and it tells you how much you would save. But yeah, I thought that would be really fun for me. Like playing games and things like that is just a lot more fun than just like transferring the money over. That's really the reason I started cash stuffing, because like electronic savings and things like that like never really worked for me. I do still use like a high yield savings account and a checking account and all of that, but I don't know. It's just something about cash stuffing that's really changed my life. And so I really enjoy doing the games, and I've been able to save so much doing it that way. And then this binder, I actually found this at my parents' house whenever I was visiting them. This was a binder I used a long time ago. And I was like, hey, it's still in good condition. So I can use this for my month ahead. So one of my goals for the upcoming year is to get a month ahead on bills. And so I have my envelopes in here for each one of my bills. And so I want to be able to save to get a month ahead on those. And then I'll just transfer that to my bills account just so I can have a buffer. And then the last binder, which is also a specialty one, is for travel. I'm currently saving for my sister's bachelorette party. She's getting married in June, and so I'm saving for that. And in here, I also want to be able to play games to save, just to make it a little bit more fun to save. So I created these cards for each one of the categories in here, and I will pull a card and then go to that category and just save however much the icons are. So like if I pulled flight, I would save $20 here, which once I actually film the videos, hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. But the categories I have in here, I tried to think of anything I could ever possibly need. So I have flight, excursions, pre-trip shopping, food and drink, transportation, spending money, souvenirs, airport parking, boarding for my dog, gas, after trip, unexpected expenses. And these here are ones I don't need for this trip, but that includes hotel, cellular plan, and then tours and activities. Now, moving on to my binders I use more frequently. These are things where I typically will use the money pretty often. And so a lot of the times I will use cash, but sometimes I'll use my card and then unstuff the money from my envelopes and put it back into my account. Having the actual cash helps me so that I'm not just swiping my card, because I do have that problem where like if I see money in my account, I'm like, oh, I could spend money, and it might be for a specific thing. So now for me, like if I see it in the envelope, I know I'm saving for something in particular. So first I will go to my savings. So this is more long-term things that I'm saving for. So first, I just have my bank buffer here, which I keep this in my bank, but I like to have the envelope so I can see that it's funded. Next is emergency, which I want to save 3 to 6 months of emergency after I save my month ahead. So hopefully, probably like the end of 2026, I'll start saving for that. Month ahead is in here. What I think I'm going to do is I'll do my month ahead binder like once a month. And so whenever I cash stuff, I'll just put the money in here and then take it from here and put it into my binder. Next, for rainy day, this is like a mini emergency fund. So this is fully funded now, and this is in my high yield savings account. But again, whenever I was saving for it, I was using this envelope. And if for some reason I need to spend the money and then I'll have to save again, that's why I have the envelope in here. Next is for taxes. Sometimes I owe tax money, so I have this in here just in case I need to save for taxes. And then for wedding, this is for my sister's wedding. Since this is like for a short period of time, I just created this vellum insert myself, and I put my goal here. So after June, once the wedding's over, I won't need this one anymore. And then for work, this is for like sometimes we have little events at work, we'll go out to eat or something like that. So I just like to keep a little bit of money for that. Next, moving on to my sinking funds. I categorize sinking funds as anything that has a particular date to it. So in here, I have annual subscriptions. So that includes like my YouTube Premium, Peacock, Amazon Prime, all of that, which I like to have them all in one envelope. I tried to do it separately, but that was just too stressful for me. So I like just saving everything in one envelope. Next, I have Bath and Body Works. I typically will stock up during the semi-annual sales in June and December. So that's why I have this in sinking funds, because I know that's really the only time I use this envelope. For card tags, this is self-explanatory. It's for my card tags, which is due in March. And then for my cell phone, I do have the Mint Mobile. I do the annual plan. So I save throughout the whole year. And then you save a little bit of money doing it that way. So I'm saving for that, which this is due in April. And then for chapbooks, I like to do these like year end yearbooks and you just print them out. And so those are about $30. So I like to do that. And sometimes I'll print out like physical photos. And I just like having an envelope for whenever I print those out. And it's pretty cheap to do that. Next is for Christmas. You know, Christmas comes every year, and I have always been like stressed out saving for Christmas. So this past year, I was able to save and it was a lot less stressful. So, you know, I'm going to start saving for Christmas as soon as I can. And then next is holiday travel. I do live in a different state from my parents. And so I want to be able to travel home for probably Thanksgiving or Christmas next year. So I want to start saving for that. And then miscellaneous is really just for anything. Sometimes I'll decide like in the middle of the year, like I want this subscription or something like that. And so I want to have a little bit of money just for that. Moving on to my personal binder, I got new dashboards. So the names, oh, this is short term. Okay. Some of the names are different now, but I just wanted to use the dashboards. So this is personal slash short term. So in here I have beauty, which for me, this is like hair, nails, and any toiletries, toothpaste, anything like that. I will use this. Next, fun. This is more for like activities with other people. So like if I go to a concert or we do some kind of event, I want to save for that. Hobbies, this is mostly for cash stuffing stuff, or like planner stuff, stationery, things like that. Meal delivery, I do like to buy like a meal delivery service just so that I can have stuff to eat. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to cook and I'll just pop that in the microwave. So I'll buy these. I'll buy a good amount of them that last for like 3 months. So I want to save for that. Like right now, I just bought the Factor meals and they had a discount. So I got a good amount of meals and I'm like eating through those right now. So that's why I have that in here. And then spending's really for anything that doesn't fit into any other category. So it's kind of a catch all. Technology, this is for not like big electronics, but mostly like charger cords, phone cases, things like that. Just because sometimes they randomly break and it's like, you know, I kind of just want to have some money for that. And then travel, this is for, but what I'm going to do with this one, same with like my month ahead, is I'll put the money in here just if I don't have a trip planned. And then once I actually have something planned, I'll use my travel binder. But typically, I'm like, I always want to go on a trip. So I want to save even if I don't necessarily have something planned. And then wardrobe, this for me is any like clothing, shoes, jewelry, hats, anything like that. All right, we only have a few binders left. Next is for my dog. So I do have a dog. His name is Archie, and I have a binder for him just because I did try kind of putting his stuff into my other binders, but I like having a binder specific to him. I bought the mystery dashboards from the Aesthetic Dollar, and she had a kids one, and I'm like, he's my kid, so I put the kids one in here for him. So the first one I have in here is for his boarding. This is more for unexpected boarding, like if I take a impromptu trip or something like that. Typically, if I know I'm traveling somewhere, like in my travel binder, I have a boarding envelope in there as well. But again, this is more for unexpected. And then dog meds. So he does take his like heartworm medicine and then his flea and tick medicine. So that's what this is for. And I like to get the annual pills, and it's a little bit cheaper to do it that way, so I can save throughout the whole year for that. And then next, food and treats. That's self-explanatory. I get like the big bag of food, which lasts a few months, and so I can save up. And then for treats, that's, whenever I want to buy him treats. And then for grooming, so he does get groomed probably like once every 2 or 3 months. They like cut his nails, and he is a corgi, so he sheds a lot, so I like to do the de-shedding. And then whenever he doesn't get professionally groomed, I'll just groom him at home, but I do like to save for that. And then JVM, this is for my apartment. They require us to have like a pet profile to keep the vaccines and all that up to date, and that's $25, and that's due in June. And then other pet care is for anything that doesn't fit into any of the other categories. So, like if he needs a new collar, new leash, something like that, I would pull it from here. And then Petco, I do have the annual like subscription for Petco where you get a lot of discounts. And since I basically get everything from Petco, so his grooming, his treats, his medicine, all of that. So I think it's worth it to have the subscription. It's like $250 for the year, which I did because I was contemplating if I wanted to get this, but I calculated like. And the last one I have in here is for the vet, which this is for his annual vet appointment. I do want to start saving for like a pet emergency. I would use like my rainy day fund until I have my pet emergency, but yeah, this is just for his like annual wellness appointment when he gets his vaccines and all of that. And the last binder I have here is my high priority. So in here, first I have bulk items. So I do go to Sam's, and I'll get a lot of like meat and toilet paper and things like that, household items in bulk. And so I have this separate from like household because that's slightly different. This is for bulk items specifically. And then gas buffer, I have this just in case if I drive a little bit more than normal and I need to buy more gas, just so I can have a buffer. And then giving, this is self-explanatory. If I want to give, I really will use this for like any charitable giving, like at work, if we have a food drive or something like that, I will use that. And then grocery buffer, this is for if I overspend in my grocery category, I'll pull the money from here. Household, this is for household items that aren't bulk items. So like I just recently bought like a carpet cleaner, I would use that, or like pots and pans, things like that, I would pull from here. And then important dates, so I don't save specifically for specific holidays. Again, I tried that and it was really stressful for me, like it just didn't work for me. So what I do is I just have important dates, and then I will put everything in here, so like birthdays, holidays, if we have like a baby shower, wedding shower, something like that, I would pull from here. And then transportation, this is for car maintenance and like tolls, car washes. And then unexpected expenses, like if I go over in another category and I need to pull some money, I will use that. And that is it. And that is it for my 2026 setup. I'm really excited to see what the new year holds. And things have just changed so much since I started cash stuffing last year. So I'm really excited to meet my goals and to just continue on in the community. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.